The movie begins with Pancras training his son Luca on how to fight. Demons and monsters are everywhere in the forest, so his boy needs to know how to defend himself. A family friend who visited Pancras tears up on how grown-up Luca is and wishes his late mother Mata was around to witness this. Pancras, being a hero in the land, is summoned to the palace to dine with the king. A group of monsters suddenly kidnaps the king's son. Pancras locates the monster's hideout to rescue the prince, but he is threatened to surrender by the monster king, Ladja. Pancras made Luca promise to find his mother no matter what and die by the monster's blade. 10 years later, Luca is all grown up and has been getting nightmares about his father's death. We see Prince Harry there, and we find out they are now slaves for the monsters. Harry pesters Luca that they should try and escape since they haven't attempted it once. A slave who overhears their conversation informs them that all those that ever tried to escape were killed, and all the corpses were being thrown into the river. This immediately gives Harry an idea. He suggested to Luca that they should disguise themselves dead, so they will be thrown into the river and they can escape from there. All the guards who sees them fell for the trick, thinking they are actually dead, and throws them into the river. Although they succeeded in finally escaping from the monster residence, they are chased by dozens of monsters that spotted them. A stranger called Ago hides them, making the monsters to lose trace of them. Dr. Agan introduces himself to Luca and Harry. He explains to them that the Monster King Ladja is planning to open the gates of Madeira so he can free the evil Grandmaster Nimzo. Nimzo is the origin of evil and darkness in their land, and a tribe called the Zenithians lost their lives just to seal Nimzo in that gate. Dr. Agan is searching for the heavenly hero, who is the only one that can prevent this from happening. Agan helps them escape through a cart, and they travel far away from Mount Azimuth, where the monsters cannot find them. Prince Harry returns to the palace to reunite with his father, while Luca has to go separate ways because he feels his father was trying to tell him something really important before he died, and believes he might find a clue in his house. Luca discovers his father's secret room in his house, and he goes in to meet his father's diary. His father is looking for the Zenithian hero and believed Luca might be the hero himself because his mother is a Zenithian, and only those from the Zenithian bloodline can wield the sword in their land that has great powers. Their family friend Sancho later shows up at his house and hardly recognizes Luca, thinking he was a thief. Later on, he prepares Luca's most favorite food and explains to him that he is truly the heavenly hero because he is from the Zenithian's bloodline, and advises him to find the sword of great powers to defeat the monsters and rescue his mother. Immediately, Luca embarks on a journey to gain strength and fights numerous monsters on his way. He encounters a slime that has been always following him and names it Gertrude. He also reunited with his tiger called Percy, who joins him on his journey. According to Sancho instructions, he goes to Briscoletti estate to find the Zenithian sword, only to meet the whole city in chaos. The damage and destruction in the city was caused by a really huge monster called Bjorn the Beast, and the leader of the city, called Rodrigo Briscoletti, can do anything to find the Zenithian hero who can help them in defeating the monster. Rodrigo Briscoletti is a really wealthy man who also has a beautiful daughter called Mara. Luca meets with Rodrigo, who is even ready to offer out his daughter to anyone who helps in defeating the monster. Rodrigo Briscoletti believes Luca can defeat Bjorn the Beast because with his blue eyes he can tell Luca is a Zenithian. He takes Luca to where the Sword of Power is, but they find out it was stolen. Luca and Mira talk for a while, and we come to find out they are childhood friends. Luca notices that Mira is interested in their marriage in case he defeats the monster, which motivated him to happily enter the monster's hideout, but he was defeated. He branches at an inn for treatment, only to encounter another childhood friend called Bianca, who handed him a medicine that cured him instantly. Blanca, who believes Luca to be the heavenly hero, decided to accompany Luca to fight Bjorn the Beast. When they successfully infiltrated the monster hideout, they found the Zenithian sword there. As they try to take the sword, it awakens Bjorn the Beast, who stops them. Luca serves as a distraction, giving Blanca the chance to take the sword. She throws it to Luca to unleash its powers and defeat Bjorn the Beast. Unfortunately, Luca was unable to unshield the sword, which makes Blanca wonders if he is really the heavenly hero. The monster chases after them until they find out the monster's weakness, which is its eyes. At the edge of a cliff, Luca makes a really high jump on the monster's body and threatens it to surrender. The monster looks into Luca's eyes only to realize that he is from the Zenithian bloodline and surrenders to him. Luca earned the right to marry Mira, and with the help of Blanca he shyly proposes to her, which Mira gladly accepted. While resting in a tavern, he sees Blanca really drunk, but never did he notice that she is unhappy about something. On the way to his room, he encounters an elderly woman who tells him that he is hiding his true feelings from himself and the world. Although Luca defends that he is really happy about his marriage with Mara, the old woman gives him a portion which can help him get to know his true feelings. Out of curiosity, he decided to drink the portion the old woman gave to him and finds out that he is in love with Blanca instead of Mara. Luca swiftly meets up with Rodrigo Briscoletti to call off the engagement with his daughter, who turns out to be so angry with his decision. Luca returned back the sword he is unable to unshield, believing he's not the Zenithian hero, but is instead given the responsibility to find the chosen one. Luca meets with Blanca, who pretends to be happy about his marriage and reveals to her that he cancelled his marriage with Mara. He proposes to Blanca in front of the whole customers in the tavern, and she accepted it with tears, as this is a moment she has waited for all her life. Luca thanks the elderly woman for helping him find his true love, but secretly, as the old lady is really Mara, who used a disguising spell to help him realize his true feelings. Meanwhile, the monster king Ladja tries to destroy the magical orb that is protecting Luca's mother Mata, but it was to no avail. Meanwhile, Luca goes back to his cabin with Blanca as they both enjoy their honeymoon. After a year, Blanca gives birth to a son named Alice. Luca tells Blanca that he is leaving to find the Heavenly Warrior, a sacrifice he has to make by leaving his family for a while, because he can't watch the world fall into darkness. Some group of monsters begins to attack their house, and they all try to escape. One of the monsters gets hold of Luca, which gives Blanca no choice but to hand over their baby to Santos, while she goes to help Luca. But unfortunately, the Monster King shows up and captures Blanca. The Monster King feels she can be the key in freeing his evil master and kidnaps her. Luca tries to save her, but he is turned into stone by the Monster King. As Blanca is taken to the Monster King residence, and we get to find out that the reason she was being kidnapped by Ladja is because she is also a Zenithian, which Blanca doesn't know since when she was born. Since Zenithians has the ability to communicate with each other using their minds, Ladja wants Blanca to talk to Luca's mom Meta, who sealed herself in an orb, so he can get the spell he needs to open the gates, and promises to free her when she does. Blanca speaks to Mata through her mind, who advises her never do what Ladja tells her, as it will bring chaos to the world, which made Blanca to instantly reject his offer, and furiously, Ladja turns her into stone. Few years later, Luca's son Alice, who manages to escape with Sancho, is now all grown up and is seen stealing a magical staff from a monster lair and uses its powers to free his father Luca from the stone spell. Luca wasn't able to recognize Alice at first, but witnessing how Alice defeated a group of monsters at once, he realizes that Alice is his son. A monster suddenly apprehended Alice from behind, and Luca accidentally throws him the Zenithian sword thinking it's an ordinary sword, but to his surprise, Alice is able to unshield the sword and uses it to divide the monster to pieces. Luca is so happy seeing this and couldn't believe that his son has been the Zenithian hero he has been searching for. With the legendary hero finally found, Luca tries to think of a way to sneak inside Ladja residence since there are so many monsters guarding the whole place. He remembers when Rodrigo told him to find the Zenithian dragon disguised as a human who can help him on his quest. He goes to meet Dr. Agon to get information concerning its location, only to shockingly find out that Dr. Agon is actually the Zenithian dragon. Dr. Agon tells him that he won't be actually able to help them because he lost his dragon orb some time ago, and without it, he will not be able to transform. Now Luca is out of options, but Dr. Agon suggested that he should get help from the fairies, who can grant them at least one wish, although reaching them is going to be really hard because they are protected by an army of robots. Luca is able to fight and penetrate the defense of the robots, and with the help of Gertrude, he is able to locate the fairy world, which is hidden underground. Luca requested from the fairies to help close the gates of Madeira, where Nimzod is, and as well return his mother and wife back to him, but the fairy tells him that it is beyond their power, but instead she can send him to his past so he can retrieve the dragon orb from his younger self, because Luca at his young age once had the dragon orb in his possession. Luca had a little chat with his younger self, who was able to trust him, and handed the dragon orb over to him. With the help of the orb, Dr. Agon is finally able to transform into a dragon and takes them to Ladja hideout. By using the magic staff, they were able to also break the spell from Blanca, which turns her back to normal, and she finally reunited with her son and husband, whom she hasn't seen for a long time. The family immediately goes to rescue Mata, who warns them not to do so because Ladja is now more powerful and it will be a very bad idea to challenge him. Although Luca didn't listen and meets his mother once again, who is badly injured from Ladja attacks. As she says her last words to Luca, she died in his arms. Suddenly, the final battle begins as Ladja commanded all his monsters to kill them all. We see Luca using his incredible sword skills to kill 5 monsters at once, while Alice is using the Zenithian sword, which gave the young boy incredible powers as he killed so many monsters that are 10 times his size, with Blanca using her magic staff. Unfortunately, the monsters were too many, and as Ladja laughs thinking he has overpowered them, a ship suddenly shows up, who turns out to be Prince Harry, who has brought Sancho and his entire army along with him to fight the monsters. Luca goes on a one-on-one combat with Ladja, but no matter how he tries, he still wasn't able to defeat Ladja, until his son Alice intervenes, and with the help of the Zenithian sword, they were finally able to defeat him. Before Ladja died, he is still able to absorb the powers of Mata and opens the gates for Grandmaster Nimzo. Seeing the gate about to open, Alice throws the Zenithian sword to seal the gate, but all of a sudden, the world pauses apart from Luca, who seems to be the only one moving. A mysterious person shows up, and he is revealed to be Nimzo, who turns out to be a computer virus. Nimzo reveals to Luca that he is in a game, and all his life activities are not real. In real life, Luca is just an adult playing a game called the Dragon Quest. As programmed by his creator, the virus tells Luca on how foolish he is because he still plays games at his adulthood and tells him to grow up, but Luca, who remembers all the good memories with his family, wasn't ready to give in. Gertrude appears and reveals to be antivirus of the game. He makes a sword for Luca, which kills Nimzo at one blow. With the virus gone, peace is restored back to the land, and Luca lived happily with his family. Thank you for watching, guys. If you love animation movies, please subscribe to this channel and keep watching. Bye.